speed up the old internet. That'll help us. For all my homies in the chat, how's it going so far? Has it been as disjointed for you as it has been for me? I hope not. I hope you've been able to follow a little bit, but in reality, I'm going to play a slower game now. I'm going to give myself time for these technical gremlins to actually start talking about chess, which is what we're all here for. That's fine. I want to say, I'm going to close out this game. I'm going to change the time control to 15:10. So again, same rules apply. We've got 15 minutes each, 10 seconds added to our clock each time, and we'll play again. Okay, already I'm feeling much more secure. It's a slower game. We're playing Savander 7. Didn't watch the first 6, mate. Oh, I've got to move. I'm white. I'm going to do an E5 opening. E4 opening, as it's known. I call it the E5 just to be cute. Not really. I got it way wrong. As I mentioned, general opening principles in chess. You want to control the center of the board, which is mainly these two files and mainly these two ranks. So any across the 5-4 and the D and E files. You also want to get your pieces into play, mainly your knights and your bishops. Early doors, you kind of want to do this without any sort of delay. And then you also want to get your king safe, which is castling, and that's getting him into one of the corners here. Just going to give a quick hello to our Canadian compadre. Hello, good luck. I do wish them good luck. So in light of that, my next move here is going to be my bishop out, which is a developing move. This one here. It's a nice active square for my bishop. It's on a nice long diagonal. If he castles short, if he castles on this side, my bishop will have a nice meaty look at him. And also it will have the added bonus of clearing these two squares, which is this one and this one, in between my king and my rook, allowing me to castle next move if I want to. There's probably one or two things I want to do before castling to make my dreams come true. So their move here is they brought their bishop out to threaten my knight. It isn't really a threat on my knight, it's more so a pin. Basically, my knight can't really move in good conscience because he'd be left wide open for the queen, for the bishop just to gobble open this queen, which is not a fair trade-off in my books. And in keeping with these center concepts, I'm not happy with this pawn, or with this pin even. It's called a pin when your piece can't move because there's a better piece behind it. But I don't know how dangerous it is right now. So I think I am going to castle. And again, for those of you who do play a lot of chess, you might be pulling your hair out at that and saying that was an absolute blunder. And I can sort of see that happening. If he moves his knight in here, then that's a double attack on this knight. Attack with the bishop, attack with the knight here. Now I can, of course, defend with this bishop, or sorry, with this pawn and this queen, but we really don't want to lose this pawn. Our king, one of the main reasons we wanted to castle was to get our king behind this nice pawn wall over in the corner, nice sleepy little corner of the kingdom, to rest. He's brought his knight out. He's obviously threatening this piece here. That's okay. In terms of development, this move is actually something I wanted to do anyway. What this move does, this pawn coming out here, one space, defends this pawn, also opens up this channel for the bishop to get back into the game, which again, one of those opening principles. Got a shout out request, shout out Andy Williams. also known as the Chess King in many circles, known as Andy Williams in many more circles. But hope he's keeping well. He scored a few crucial goals for our old football team, the LA Galaxy Caramels. Right. So that move is a little bit passive, but what it does do is it stops me sinking my bishop in here. And yes, that is the main point of that move. But it also, again, if he or she does decide to castle short, it will weaken this sort of pawn wall that he would have built up. So I'm actually okay with that move, and I'm still going to develop, and I'm just going to get my bishop out to this. I think this square here will be fine for my bishop. In general, at this level, you'll see here we're playing 1300 level, which is good but not bad. I mean, bad but not good, or however you really want to think about it. But essentially, at this level, oftentimes we'll castle short. It's just the sort of basics that you're taught. So I hope that this player does that this time. Didn't respond to my message, which was fairly callous. Now, here's what we thought was going to happen. We thought that this knight and this bishop were going to attack my knight on here. He can't just move out of there because, as we mentioned, we've got that pin of the bishop in here. I definitely don't want to take with this pawn because that just opens my king wide open to any attacks on this g file here. But I do have one move in my arsenal, and it's this knight move in here. Adds another defender in here, gets my knight into the game, completes my development, and at this stage we're kind of into the mid game. That'll be the end of the openings, really. And let's have a look here. So we've got obviously attacking my bishop here. Don't want to be too reactive to this and just bring him back here. But that actually might be the safest square for us. I could bring the bishop back here, chase his knight away, or force him to do something with this, which I think I will, because this is an annoying position to be in, and by forcing him to do something, him or her, then it'll just resolve itself, and maybe they'll mess up when they're trying to resolve that. Savander7, you wily fox. So if I'm looking at this as sort of a mid-game break, in terms of development, I'm slightly ahead. I have all my pieces out, and I'm castled. Most of my pieces focused on the center here. They still have their bishop to get out. It's kind of hemmed in by this pawn here. They can move it here if they want, but it's very slow. And they'll need to do that if they want to castle at all. Again, you can't castle, you can't swap your king and your rook if there's a piece in between or if you've moved your king beforehand, which is a-okay by me. So they've taken the bait. They have just sort of resolved this tension here, which I'm very happy about. I'm actually just going to replace that knight with this one in here. This knight wasn't amazing back here. It was doing some defense on this square and this square. But I think here I'm happy because there's only like a one-piece threat, essentially. Again, we have a decision to make here. Could take with this bishop, could take with this pawn, could do neither and get this bishop out of dodge, which actually might be what I want to do. In general, if you're deciding whether or not to take a piece that is being offered to you, essentially, the quickest way to do, see if that makes sense, is just count the attackers against the defenders. So he's got 2 defenders, I've got 2 attackers, and as an attacking side, that generally means you won't win out. So unless there's pieces of better like material cost, like if this was a rook or whatever, then I would take. But in this instance, back away, not today. Disco lady. Peter Collins says, "Hi, Andy." Hi, Peter. I like your opening, but have you considered tic-tac-toe? And he's, I presume, purposefully spelled tic-tac-toe wrong. I have considered tic-tac-toe, Peter. I actually find it to be a very difficult game. And it's, yeah, I just get in my head too much. Okay, so here's my first mistake of the night. If we just jump back here. First mistake of the night was moving this bishop away, as I spoke about. What I could have done is just trade off here with these bishops. If they take with the knight or the queen, well, they would take with the knight essentially. That's when I should have moved my bishop away. Or even just kept that there. Because what's happened now is I've lost a pawn, actually. I can't move this knight because of the pin that we mentioned earlier on. And if I take this pawn, then he will be able to take with his knight, and this pawn will be completely undefended, which is no good. But it's the lesser of two evils at the moment. Call that a dummy move. It's a move that a dummy would make. That's what this channel's all about, really. Colin, I'm actually not allowed to take move advice from you. That would be cheating. I think you're a couple of seconds behind how I'm actually playing. But you say check the mofo, bishop to knight 4, which I don't think that's the notation they use anymore. I think he might mean this and put him in check, but then this pawn comes up and just blocks it pretty easily. But thank you. But again, I cannot take your help. Much as I would love to. Much as I would dearly, dearly love to. So they're taking their time in claiming what is rightfully theirs. Our queens are staring down each other very, very ominously, but both are pretty well supported. I've got my two rooks, and they have their rook and their king looking after them. So that would just be a straight trade-off if anyone wanted to jump in there. However, Colin, I appreciate that. You just wanted to say mofo. Listen, this is chess. We're all prima donnas. This is, you know, it can get pretty hot in here. And I'm glad that everyone is here with us. Right. So again, I imagine their next move is going to be to take here, because I just have absolutely nothing, nothing guarding this pawn. Which, yeah, again, and that just be a very, very strong square for his knight to be in. What I could do is actually that trade of queens that we mentioned. Not a huge gain either way. If we just trade queens, and if I propose the trade, as in if I take his queen first, he'll have to take back, and they'll do it with the rook, which will get this rook on a very nice file. Oh, they've done it. That is much better news for me. They've taken with the queen, which allows me to do a couple of things. I imagine they'll probably take with the bishop next, actually. Yeah, that's what'll happen. Okay, I'm going to take with the rook. So now I've got control of this file, which is nice. They're going to take with the bishop here, I imagine, was their plan. Maybe not. This pawn still going to begging. If I were they, I would either take this pawn with the knight like this, or if he takes my knight like that, what will happen is I will almost be forced to take back, just so I don't go completely behind in material, I'll have to be forced to take back with this pawn. And that is really something I don't want to do. It sort of just makes a little coffin for my king in here, to be honest. We'll have 2 pawns on this square, wide open file here. And we've already traded a bit of material, like we've traded queens, and I think we've traded 1 pair of knights. So it's not a material rich board. It's not. It's a pretty open game. So that kind of positional gap might be absolutely murderous. But it might just be how we have to go. And that is all stemming back from... There's probably a few bad moves in here, to be honest. That was okay. That was okay. That was okay. This was where I made a mistake, I think. I should have taken with this pawn here. Just didn't do the maths right over here. He's got just enough of an attack going on in sort of this area here, which I just didn't see. I thought I could just get my bishop out of there and defend there, but c'est la vie. Now we play the waiting game. Quick question. It was a pleasure playing football with you, Andy. That was some team we had. A number of Mels in the old chat as well. Shout out to Mels. Quick question. What is your takeaway of choice and what do you order? Takeaway choice at the moment, the winner is Tadka House, which is an Indian restaurant in Rathmines. I get the chicken tikka masala, I get 4 onion bhajis, I get a naan bread, a garlic naan, and I get some pilau rice. And that'll do me for 2 meals, and it's the finest chicken tikka masala you'll ever have. If you're not into Indian, that's your prerogative. I would go with something along the lines of a spice bag from whatever spice baggeria that you want to visit, or just a really basic boy pizza, a bit of Uno pizza. But that'd be Indian would be my top one if you were to hold a gun to my head, and I wish that you would. Can I block Peter, please? I have the power. I do not have the inclination. I think Peter's a great watcher. It's just getting so active in the chat. I love it. You love to see it. And with that, Peter bringing the tricky questions, the 3rd degree. Andy, your shadow is bigger than you. Is that always the case, even in the southern hemisphere? Peter, you're a doctor. You should know how the fundamentals of light work. But if you are interested in my light source, that was a problem we had to solve and may have to solve later on. But I'm actually using this book of light, which was a gift I got from my wife. Largely unused, but I found use for it today. It's a very convenient source of light. It might go out of power, in which case this will happen and I'll go back to sad grey Andy. However, I hope it doesn't and that this happens. And we could just charge it up. Has this person moved yet? I think we might be onto a winner here on time, folks. this is the beauty of chess. Interesting note on chess is if you in the old times, people used to play a thing called correspondence chess, which was where you would send a letter to someone, could be anyone, probably in Russia, but wherever you're around the world, you would send them a quick letter with your next move, and how you would open up the board, and you would go move for move. You would send a letter back and forth. Correspondence game of chess, it was called. And what some people used to do is, if they knew that they were losing, if they made some silly blunder like I did just here, and they were losing the game, they would play what is known as the dead man's defense, where they just wouldn't write back and just hope that the other person died before. I think they had some sort of time limits on it, but yeah, I think that's what Savander's going for here. He's hoping I'm going to die in this time that they're waiting out. And that's just classic Savander, to be honest. They didn't even respond when I said hello, good luck, 2 exclamation points, which I really put myself out in the line for. And he snubbed me. I've been snubbed. Immediately got a message from my wife. That is a lie. I totally use that booklight sometimes, which I will concede is the truth. And thank you for watching. But yeah, this was the main reason I started off playing shorter games, those 5-minute blitz games. Mainly because basically we've got dead air here. However, this is all playing into my hands, even if they take advantage of the position that they have on the board at the moment, which I do think is in their favor. And the machine might tell us afterwards if that's the case. Then, excuse me, they're still going to be up against the Kosh time-wise. And again, we can, who knows, maybe we can employ a dead man's defense. We fight fire with fire. Okay, man, I don't know. Savander's gotten into my head. I'm not sure if I will survive. It's Connor Quinn with the great suggestion. Draw him out with some smack talk. Cat got your chess? Yeah. That's just gold. That is live stream gold. Does that make sense? I don't know. But listen, if he doesn't respond to that, he's clearly not a human, and we've been playing against a bot anyway. Bots are an issue in chess, but again, at this level, they're not. So don't worry about it. But I hope everyone's enjoying chess, please. As I mentioned, I found when I was trying to learn chess, all of the videos and all of the content online was geared towards just incredibly high levels of chess, or else actual just tutorial videos. Just here's how you do it, here's how you play. I want this to be neither. I want this to be low level, uninstructive, good fun chess. Well, a little bit instructive, but I want it to be fun for me. Generally, one of the main reasons I did it was to get better at chess myself, to avoid making silly blunders like this. Maybe that wasn't a blunder. The game, there's a little engine that we'll go through after, the engine that could, that will tell me basically where I went wrong and what I should have done. And that's always interesting to see. You might think that you played a good game, and then the engine will say you did not play a good game. The other person was essentially playing like a dead person in terms of their cognitive faculties. But you managed by default to win. Do I own an actual chessboard, Jack? I do indeed. I own one that I bought in Chile. It is quite racist. The white pieces are the conquistadores, the truly horrible colonizers that took over a lot of South America, and the black pieces are the natives. It is I believe, a handcrafted stone pieces, or little piecinos, and a wooden board, and it folds up. I have never played a game of chess on it, but if you'd like to, you could come over to my house and we could play it when the restrictions are eased. Can I get blocked for this kind of smack talking? One listener reports. Cat got your chess. It is pretty vicious. I didn't mean to. Oh, they're gonna lose. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes! Get in! Back of the net! Come on, chess! Get up the chess. Right. Convincing win. Smashing win. Let's get the game report, shall we? Oh, it's not there. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this as well as the game. Let me just check the stream. So it's a little bit cut off. Let's go for the analysis. So castling there was actually an inaccuracy. So rather than castling, I should have played this move. For some reason, king takes, or moves, and then knight would put them in check, and then I could take their bishop. I think. Who's to say? I really just want to see my blunder. Here we go. Nice beat to it. So not bad chess played by either of us here. Okay, so this was an inaccuracy. It wasn't as bad as I thought, but I definitely should have taken with the pawn here. The absolute cheek of the chess engine being like, what did you do? It's like, this game is so hard, man. Give me a break. Takes, takes, takes. And then we just won through sheer willpower alone. Champione, that's the stuff. Right, will we do one more? You don't have to stay, but I'd like you to. Will we do one more? See if we can get an actual chess going. Is that how they say it? New game. You won on time. On time and in full. Savannah wants a rematch. Let's have you. Oh, did I miss him? Rematch. Maybe they know I'm talking smack. Rematch requested. No. He must have seen that cat comment and hit the roof. Are we looking for a game here? I normally play this on the mobile app, and let me tell you, the mobile app is way better. This is a very, very clunky site. So, again, they've played the e5. We're playing Leaping Rook from the Netherlands. I'm going to play this move, which is c5, also known as the Sicilian opening. Were we the black pieces last time? I think we were, or maybe not. But essentially, this is a very common response to this, which is the most common opening. There's a ton of different ways I can play this, none of which I know very well, all of which possible. Was Savander a good sport? Yeah, I don't want him to get banned or anything. Plus, he could take me to The Hague for that cat got your chess comment. Okay. So, they're not really doing... This might be an opening that I don't know, but they're not getting any of their pieces out. They're getting a lot of pawns out. He's attacking this pawn here, which is fine. I actually might defend it with the bishop here by actually moving my pawn up. So we're getting a little bit more control of my side of the center, as well as maybe priming for this move should they take, or even just getting this bishop out in general. Also helps me defend this square a little bit better. God, still riding off that high. The crushing win against Savander. Almost forgot to say hello to Leaping Rook. Hello. Good luck. Okay, now they finally started to bring out some pieces. And I think I kind of want to do the same. Essentially want to stop him from coming forward. And I think I can do that with a little bit of this, followed by that. And just sort of gum up the center a little bit. That's what I think I'll do. Leaping Rook says you too. That's class. That's classy. And then what we'll do here is, as I say, gum up the middle. And again, still pretty even at this stage. They've got a little bit more control of the center, but the white pieces can do that if they want to. I'm thinking of starting a live stream of chess for normal rating players like ourselves. What do you think? Right. So they have also chosen to gum up the center. We're looking at a pretty closed game. I don't like this move at all for me because one of the key squares I want to put my knight on will be there. And now I'm the one who's flagging in development. I could do a Peter Collins special and throw a pretty meaningless check here with my bishop, but the reality of that would essentially just be blocked, and then I'd lose time. Thank you for the water. He hasn't responded to my golden idea of starting a live chess stream. Little do they know. Bishop here, pretty passive. It is a developing move, and I just really wanted to play one of those, getting one of my pieces. This does count as development if you get your pieces onto even just this 7th rank or the 2nd rank up here. But obviously there are more active squares or just more dangerous squares that could be on that. We'll have to wait. Maybe I'm becoming one of those chess bullies I feared. Okay. So in order to resolve this situation of this annoying pawn here, I'm going to do what's called a pawn break, which is essentially just offer a trade. And it leaves him with 2 options. His pawn can't progress anymore because of where it's sitting here. It's blocked by my pawn. So he can either just leave the tension sit there and potentially open himself up just to an attack, or he can resolve it by taking the pawn, which is actually what I really want him to do. I'll take with the knight then, helping myself castle, getting my knight into the game. Everything's looking up. He's really not feeling the live stream idea. We got another pin here. It's not as devastating as the last one because I have a way to block it pretty effectively. One downside of how I've played so far is this light square bishop is really blocked in here, and don't see that changing anytime soon, which means I really don't mind just sort of using it as a defensive blocker here. Also an opportunity for a discovered attack on this bishop should I find a decent place to rest my knight. Oh, the chess man, Savander. He will be back. That could be one of my mates that just set up a set up an account and call themselves Savander because I think the other person was called Sevander. However, Chessman, I thought you died, bro. I thought you passed away, and I'm glad you didn't. Okay, so they have not done what I wanted, which is infuriating. I'm going to try and get this pin resolved another way, which is essentially just kick the bishop out with my a pawn. He'll do that as expected, which again I'm actually very happy with because it just lets me do this, pushes him, chases them back to, ooh, yeah, that's not a bad move. I thought I was going to chase him back to this square, but that's a much better move, I think. And now, and now. What to do now? So thinking of pushing this pawn. That's just sort of throwing a needless attack at that knight. Let's have a look at the board. Let's see what we can do. Oh, he said maybe. Ho ho ho, Savander, you've got company, brother. Maybe. I love that. That's classic leaping rook. Okay, I'm sort of sick of having my knight back here, so I'm just gonna stick him here on h6. And again, if you've ever taken chess lessons or anything like that, your knights on the side of the board just have so few legal moves. There's a phrase, knights on the rim are dim. Basically, they can get trapped really easily. I don't intend on keeping this guy here for very long. I was actually just getting fed up of not being able to move him anywhere. Which is always how you should play in chess. You should react emotionally to how you see things unfolding on the board. And yeah, that move is actually not as bad as it might seem. So in the last game, I really didn't want to move this pawn after I'd castled, just leaving my king very exposed. But he's already castled, and I haven't. So actually opening up this file isn't the worst thing in the world for me. Now that's not great, but something like, so we've got this long attack in here to that undefended piece, this attack in here if I decide to move my rook. Some pretty good attacking options on that side of things. So what I'm really going to be looking to do is just stave off this attack, maybe castle on this side if I can. But I think for the time being, I think this is the only way. Actually, can't I just push? I could just push this one up here, but it doesn't really stop. No, I like him there because that stops the knight coming in there. Let's just do that. We're going reverse development in this game. Got our bishop back on the back rank. Again, I'm sure there's some hideous mistakes I'm making here, but I'm having a great time. This chat's for winners, Savander. You heard it here first. I don't think he will be back. Or maybe he's already back. Yeah, oh, the real Savander's here now. Now you're in a big trouble. A big troubles. That's some Savander on Savander action in the comments. I don't mind it. Okay, well now that my knight is sort of already that has kind of resolved itself, I don't feel too bad in playing something like this. Again, it's pretty passive, but it's well defended. Stops this bishop's long attack. Might free up my rook to just eye up this fella back here. Maybe a couple of different things I can do on that side of things. Again, another pretty passive move. So, uh, 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 uh. What can I do with my queen? I think I just sort of want my queen on this side of the board. I want them basically pointing at the king. So this might seem like a bit of a wussy move, but it's sort of preparing for kind of a rook in here, queen in here, just sort of blast the doors in. Maybe get the bishops involved to get some of these pawns off balance. Hope everyone's having a fine Tuesday. Hope everyone's having a really, really fucking good Tuesday. Are you allowed to swear on these things? I don't think so. Can you say bad words on YouTube? Who knows? If I didn't get banned for that cat comment, nothing will ban me now. I'm going rogue. Oh man. Don't tell me there's been another casualty. Actually, where do I get off saying that? I've spent way more time on my moves than they have on theirs. Look at that. That is so tense. Maybe. I suppose we should probably think about what we'll do next. I don't know if I see myself castling in this game. Again, if you castle on this long side, which I still can do, I haven't moved my king or these rooks. I generally I don't want to castle on this side because I'll end up on this G square, just absolute no man's land. But in that same vein, if I castle on this side, I'll actually end up on this C square. So that's one reason why you don't castle short, is or sorry, where you generally tend to castle long or castle short rather than castle long, which is on this side, because this C square, you end up on the C square as the king, um, which isn't nearly as safe as the B square. And my pawn structure on this side, that's no keep. Won't keep out any any sort of trouble. Now, why would they have moved their knight back there? And the only reason I can think of was to then move it in here. But I don't know why. Curse you, leaping rook. Um, mm, 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 I suppose I'll just. I don't know what that's really thrown me for a loop. It's just way as far away from my king as possible. So his knight is on the rim here. So if I want to keep it that way, something like this. Maybe that's what they want. Don't know what. Let's play aggressive. No brakes. All gas, no brakes. Alright. So as it stands, I don't think I'm good enough at chess to tell you how it stands right now. I would be happier in their position, if I'm being perfectly honest. I think there's a lot wrong with even just theirs looks way nicer. It's just like really solid little keep here. His pawn's still working together. He's got his knights. This knight's a bit of a loser. Whereas mine is just an absolute jumble. Bishop back on the back rank. What is going on here? I don't know, and I'm like, there's some sort of push that they're looking to do on this side. I think he is banking on me castling on this side, which would be a very good thing for me because I don't want to do that. Okay, here's one thing we're going to do anyway, is just stick the old queen here. Now we've got a bit of a battering ram, and that's fine. But what it also does is it brings my bishop back into the game because I don't need him to defend this piece. This pawn here. Don't be surprised to see this fella making a little run for it later on in the game. But again, I don't know how this is going to shake down. Right. I feel like I should be more worried about what he's doing over here, but I don't know. I'm gonna get his queen. Does he have anywhere to go here? Oh, he does. He can take my knight. So maybe if I can stop that happening. So if I bring my bishop up here, there isn't actually any squares for his queen to move to, but he can take with his knight here, which will help me undouble these pawns. So doubled pawns are when they're just like that on one file. It's actually a really weak way for them to be because it slows them both down, and obviously if there's a pawn there, it's missing from somewhere else. But this is okay. He's almost certainly has to take with his knight here, and we can take straight back with our bishop. Bishop or pawn? To really learn the names of the pieces if I'm going to be a multi-billion-dollar chess streamer. And then I'll take back here. I'm really wondering what their plan was. I think we'll just start launching an attack. I think they've wasted a lot of time over there on the starboard flank, or these 3 rows. Probably anticipate my king sort of being here and sort of open. That might not be. They might have had a much better reason for doing that, which we'll see now. However, maybe not. pretty big moment happened for me in my chess career there a couple of weeks ago, probably last week actually. I had 3 pawns lined across like this, but actually, as it happened, also had 2 pawns like that. You know what it was? It was the chess willy, or pawn willy even. Just 3 pawns across, 3 pawns up. Just an undeniable chess willy, or pawn willy, if you will. And yeah, posted it on Reddit, got a couple of thousand upvotes. So that's what I've been doing with my time. That's why I'm staying productive. Savander Chessman is actually an anagram of Peter Conlon. So things get even weirder. Alright, I definitely don't want that to happen. Okay, I think I could have been a lot more accurate in a couple of previous moves to sort of punish this kind of time wasting they did over here. But now we're just kind of locked in a very, very nip and tuck game, which it didn't have to be this way. I think I still have enough time. Yeah, that's fine. I have no reason to take out there, and I actually benefit from that. So I'm gonna move my queen here. Again, just preparing for a little storming up here. Storm Andy. Talk more about chess willies. Mate, I can talk all night about chess willies. Posted it to the standard chess subreddit. Got a couple of hundred upvotes. Got banned, taken down because they said it wasn't. They said it was a meme. However, it actually ended up being, and this is true, the best move for me at the time was to complete the chess willy, and it ended up winning the game. Just had too much force in the center. It was far too girthy in the most literal sense of the word. And yeah, that was all she wrote. And then I posted it. It got reposted to the Anarchy Chess subreddit, which it tended to succeed a little bit more on. Okay. I'm thinking if I take here, they'll take there, and he'll be threatening my queen there and also being covered with this rook over here. So I don't necessarily want to do that. I'm just going to go full claustrophobic game. Like, this is so closed that I think it's really going to take a mistake to open this up. Very cagey atmosphere, very semi-final atmosphere. I do not know who Savander Chessman is. The Canadian hope for the next Olympics. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, I really don't know what to do here. And this is just a bit of interlocking spurs here, just totally nullifying. Which I don't really mind because it's in their half of the board. Okay, that's fine by me. That is a-okay. Sorry, that might have been missed as I had all these squares highlighted. But they just took that pawn there. They resolved this tension. I am going to take with this pawn We've done that. So they've moved from here to here, attacking this piece. And I'm not sure if they've seen this move. Maybe they have, maybe they haven't. It's getting pretty sharp now. Getting pretty Lee sharp. Can't really be slipping up. So I'm worried about he'll take here. He'll have his queen bearing down on my knight. And his bishop looking at my bishop here, eyeing him up. However, if that happens, I'm going to get out of it by just moving my knight back here, taking his bishop, actually earning a whole piece. So unless they have some trick up their sleeve now, we're up a pawn, which is great news. In such a tight game, that is not to say that they don't have a trick up their sleeve or that I won't mess it up in a later moment. Okay. Time is becoming a factor. I'm still alright with this. What I might do is I might just hide my king back here. Again, that might seem a little bit passive, but really do have to kind of be very careful here. But I've connected my rooks, so basically rooks, the main threats are going to come from the other rooks or the queen, and once they've got each other's back, then we are good to go. Sorry, let's get rid of those pieces. So they've moved their queen there. Where can I move this knight? That might be useful. Nowhere great. That's annoying. Do I just abandon this pawn here? Can I? Essentially, this queen is attacking this knight, and I've nowhere good to send him. I think I'm... nah, that's not good. This is the only real square I want to send it to. Actually, that's not true. This square is fine. It's protected by the pawn here. So we thought that might happen. We're even in material here. So I've got a choice. I don't really have a choice. I'm going to do this. Oh no, this is not good. Not good at all. This rook I don't think is doing anything for anybody ever. So why not do something like this? Just get it on a nice open file here. They'll probably suggest some sort of traderino here. Actually, what I'll want to do probably be our last game of the evening, folks, but it is a real humdinger. They've disconnected. They might die again. Hope flourishes. Alright, he's moved his knight there, attacking my rook. My rook? And then this knight will also have this square to go to, which will put me in check. However, this might be of use. I didn't even check. This king's got a retreat here, which he will not want to do. And yeah, I don't know how this is going to shake down. Can't block with either of his rooks, which is also pretty dandy for me. He actually only has 2 moves available, I think. One of which is a block with the queen, or a king back here, because couldn't go either here or here because of the knight. Now we've got 3 minutes to find an absolute dynamite move. It's going to make everybody like me, and chess is going to be mine forever. And there's a couple of options here. There's this, knight takes there, rook takes, rook takes. We're up a rook, we got an open file there. I do like that. That's check as well. Which is pretty tasty, but it does leave his queen to have kind of free reign back here. My king doesn't have a lot of squares left to go to. I actually also love this move. Knight takes pawn for free. Then this knight is no longer defended. Can't take back with this pawn because my queen will just charge on in here. And now we've got a squiggly mess of orange lines on the board. I like this. And we've got actually a time concern now. So I think he definitely has to take with the rook. Because any move with the king, I can just put him back into check with a knight move. Because it'll be either here or here. And I can just drop my knight back here. So he'll take with the rook. I will also take with the rook. And then just sort of frantically rush to get this lad home. Alright, rook takes. Can Gary Ringrose get over for the try? Rook takes. Then we'll do this to put him in check again. And then we'll probably do this, actually, get another piece in. They need to launch an attack very, very soon. And that's not bad. It's not bad. Is it a bit desperate? I hope it is. I'm thinking of just dropping my king in here. Knight won't be able to put me in check again. Queen could put me in check there, which is concerning. And if they did that, I would just take the knight. No, I think they've got enough checks there. Could also do here. Or here might be the safest, actually. Oh, I'm running out of time. I'm in check. So we've got to move my king. There, queen checks. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. I actually don't mind that much. Yeah, that's fine. The fact that they did that very quickly makes me think that maybe it was a very desperate move. Come on, Leaping Rook. Let's let us all go home here. / stay home. Oh, I don't know if he had enough time for that. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Maybe a bit of Brian Johnson in here. Brian Johnson in here. Let's just keep doing it. Let's just keep doing it until he gives up. Okay, fine. Shite, that was the move. That's okay. Come on, resign. I don't know if I'm good enough to finish you off. That all happened very quickly. Okay, he's just sort of rushing to get that piece home. We have enough not to let him. And I think that will actually be my priority. Definitely don't want to let him in the back door here. Said the bishop to the someone. Was that a crap move? Maybe. Let's just keep putting the squeeze on. Squeeze on freeze. Let's do that. That was a bad move. Push. That'll be all she wrote, folks. Yoo! Whew! Sweaty one in the end. Very, very sweaty, inaccurate game. The computer tells us we made 4 mistakes and 3 blunders. And I'm proud of each and every one of them. Let's do a quick analysis. And then we'll call it a night, folks. No, I don't want premium. I'm not a narc. Let's play. Let's just run the report. Oh, man. Just playing through my game here. I don't know what it's doing. Let's relive the memories. This bar on the left-hand side, however white or black it is, tells you what side is winning. So hopefully you can see that. Oh, not really. But essentially, we won. We won the day. Each and every one of us. We all clubbed together and cheated and won. Which in the end is the real victory. Yeah, that was where we got this sort of advantage here. He got his queen scooped on back. They kept doing a lot of weird stuff over on this on the queen side there. However, in the end, maybe I should just slow this down a little. This was fine. So this was, yeah, I don't think they saw that I could tuck in there. It was actually this move I was thinking of doing, rook up here. It might have just brought things to a close a little bit sooner. I actually just looked at the board wrong. I thought he could take with his knight there. That would have caused issues a lot sooner. this move up here. This king still would have had to retreat, and this pawn might have been a lot more pretentious, and at that stage I probably would have done that move instead. But didn't shake down like that, completely forgot, did it this way, and yeah, black is just winning quite a lot from here. Couple of desperate checks, threaten my queen, but I didn't need to respond just yet. I had enough firepower in front of his face, and at this stage it was all over. Alright, folks, that is going to be all from me this evening. I hope you had some semblance of a time, and I want to thank you all for joining me. I'll probably do it again sometime. I really enjoyed it. You don't have to come back, but if you do, I'll stick it up on the old Instagram and YouTube, and you can come on in and just play some chess. Again, next time feel free to challenge me on chess.com. I will be more than happy to take on any comers and have my arse handed to me. And as always, smash that like and subscribe button. Stay safe, take care, ta-ra.